I just wanted to flag that this is a good news story. It's a really interesting interview, and while at the time of the recording of it, the positive outcome wasn't known, the wheels were well in motion within Meta to reverse the decision, thank God. And it also shows that John has put an incredible amount of effort into getting the proper recognition of our national Australia flag.
I did speak about this earlier. Now, you'll know that from time to time the vexillographer John Vaughan calls in, he calls the show and he gives us his expert insight to anything to do with flags. That's what a vexillographer is an expert in all things to do with flags. Now, flags are a form of communication, essentially, so John knows what this flag means and when it's appropriate to fly that flag and which one goes to the left of the other one and so on and so forth. He's an expert, right? Now, there's not much really about flags he doesn't know. And what he does, he shares his knowledge online through his Facebook page. He's got followers with Facebook. It's called Flag Day Australia, the Facebook page. And he started that more than 15 years ago. I mean, you think it's a sort of a pretty harmless sort of Facebook page, considering the sort of stuff that is on Facebook from time to time. But unfortunately, somehow, John's Facebook page seems to have been flagged with Meta, and all his years of work and posts have been erased. It's been shut down. Now, I don't know what's happened here. I'm not sure why, but I wanted to get John on to have a chat. He might know what's going on. John Vaughan is with us. G'day, John.
Hello, Michael. It's great to be on the show.
Yeah, nice to hear your voice again. I mean, look, you and I don't think have ever met, but we've spoken many times on air over the years about flags and National Flag Day and the significance of symbols and all sorts of things. I mean, you don't strike me as some sort of crazy religious zealot or something. You know, you don't seem dangerous from what I can gather. You're a flag man, right? So you've got this,
Yes,
you've got this Facebook page, Flag Day Australia. But for whatever reason, the good burgers at Meta don't like it.
Well, it's a alleged breach of community standards. So I'd like to find out exactly what the breach is or was, because, look, I go to every length to uphold the highest principles and, community service, politeness and accuracy. And that's what I do on Facebook. I record precious documents, foundation documents, fascinating history. And it's not only flags, but I do throw in a few other subjects of general interest. And recently, I've had a major discovery just on the eve of this naval review for the 125th birthday of the Navy. I've found the very first use of the Australian flag as an ensign, that is the proper flag of a ship. And this was on HMAS Protector, 1902, and I found an original photograph to prove the point. So Navy's very happy with that. Even the National Maritime Museum are happy with that too. So it's quite a find, and this is the sort of thing that I do, and I publish. On Flag Day Australia, I also have John Vaughan, vexillographer Vaughan, which is about other flags other than Australia, and I have a very harmless one about a 50-year-old cruising boat, a Halverson Gowland 31, and they're all gone.
I mean, you got to laugh because clearly something ridiculous has happened. But you've written to Meta. I don't think you can phone them. So you've written to Meta and said, "Look, please explain." Have you heard anything back?
Look, I actually had a 180-day notice. This is in the last week. I then soon after that went to 30-day notice. And then I had to do an ID over my computer. You turn your computer video on, and you actually sit there while they at Meta film you to ensure that you are you. It's an ID check. So all that was done. That went very well. And we thought, well, I thought that, I'd probably be reinstated after this. No, I wasn't. I got the final warning, and it just said that I'm suspended forever, gone.
And no sense of why? No, you don't have an idea if it was something that was posted by you or a complaint made by somebody else, a misunderstanding, no explanation at all?
That is the really worrying part, how you can be dismissed. Erased is the word, erased, because I didn't mention that all my posts to friendly Facebook pages, my friends, they are all gone too.
Okay. Look, it's not my strong point, anything technical, but as you know, we're going to try to do our best to make sure something happens to get these Facebook pages back. I can't possibly imagine why they would breach Meta's community standards, whatever they happen to be. I know you've got someone with a bit more clout than me in your corner. His name's Tim James. He's the New South Wales Shadow Minister for Fair Trading. Tim, good to speak with you.
You too, Michael. Thanks for having me on.
I mean, you're familiar with John's story as I am now. I mean, it just defies belief that anything on those Facebook pages would be, dangerous to the community or anything like that, right?
It does truly defy belief. John Vaughan is one of the great sons of Willoughby, the area I'm proud to represent in Parliament. I could barely think of someone who is more respectful, thoughtful and honourable. An OAM in 2021 for service to vexillography and history. John founded the Willoughby District Historical Society. He's done amazing things for our area and continues to do so for our community and country. And so I've reached out to Meta and said, please have this rectified, bring back John Vaughan and his pages. I can't for the life of me understand how they could possibly justify removing them.
Okay, I don't know if you've had any success yet. Have you heard back from your Meta people?
I haven't. It was, to be fair, it was late yesterday that I messaged my contact at Meta. It's not easy getting a contact at Meta, by the way, but I've done just that, and I'm eagerly awaiting their response.
Oh, you'll let us know, I'm sure, when that happens.
I will.
If that happens, I hope it does. But I mean, there's something a little more concerning here. I put your hat on as the Shadow Minister for Fair Trading here, Tim. It's a situation, one, I assume, someone has complained to Meta about something on John's page. I can't imagine what it is, but there's no right of reply. There's no sort of judicial process in the generic sense of the term. It's just they've gone, Vumpa, you're gone, erased. And of course, poor John isn't there. Well, I've got a number of emails from people who said, oh, it's happened to me. It's happened to someone I know. They were just commenting rather innocently about something, or in fact, I had someone send a photo through earlier. They had a bunch of kids in Africa looking and smiling for the first time at an iPhone or something. They posted that. They were taken out because that breached the standards. There's something a little draconian about all of that, isn't there?
Well, you would think that a big company like Meta would want to have some sort of due process, procedural fairness, a sense of a fair go for someone to at least get to put their case. And I've spoken to John, and I'm aware that he has literally no idea as to what the concern or complaint or otherwise is here. It is therefore almost impossible for him to be in a position to defend himself, nor is he told what he's in effect accused of. So he's entirely in the dark. It's such a blunt instrument, and it really is not fair.
Well, look, good on you for getting in his corner. You're his local MP, and that's your job, I know. But well done. You'll stay in touch with us. We'll stay in touch with you if anything comes through. John, if you're still there, hang in there, mate, and we'll see if we can get a result for you, all right?
Look, you give me inspiration. I really do appreciate it. It's been traumatic. There's hundreds of hours that I have put into those 4 Facebook pages, and for them just to vanish like that is just unfair.
Yeah, well said. All right, John, appreciate it. Tim, thank you for your time. Thank you for what you're doing. We'll see if we can get to the bottom of that and get that situation rectified and try to find out why on earth it happened in the first place. John Vaughan and Tim James, the Shadow Minister for Fair Trading. Yesterday we spoke with John Vaughan. John is the vexillographer to the stars. He speaks to us anyway. And John is the flag man, right? John's the flag man. And for years and years been telling listeners through 2GB about National Flag Day and why we do this and that with flags and which position they go. And, he's sort of the go-to, the guru. And as we said yesterday, for whatever reason, Meta had decided that his 4 Facebook pages, which were, about flags of all things, had breached their community standards and they had taken them down. No explanation, and he sought an explanation and a rectification and was unsuccessful. So came to speak to us, and he went to speak with his local MP, Tim James, and we had that conversation on air yesterday. Well, I'm very pleased to report I got an email from a rather excited John Vaughan pretty late last night to let me know that all has been fully restored, completely reinstated, following the broadcast that we did yesterday and the help of Tim James, the MP, the member for Willoughby. He says here that all of my Facebook pages were reinstated sometime between 6 and 7:30 p.m. tonight. That is last night. He said, I'm thrilled and delighted with this, the very best of outcomes. So that's fantastic. I'm pleased for you, John, and I hope people now friend your page or whatever you do with Facebook. It's been so long, I can't remember what you do, follow it, or whatever the verb is, and go and learn something, because it's just an educational set of pages, you know. And why it was ever flagged as problematic, I have no idea. Look, I doubt there was human involvement. My suspicion is, as some of you have said on the text and the email to me, that this is just what happens when the allegedly AI bot does its thing. It's artificial, but the I bit's missing, the intelligence bit, not there. And so it sees something, probably saw too many Union Jacks or something, oh, this is some right-wing crazy website, and so it just knocked it out. Boom, right? Now, John says no explanation or details, though, of the alleged breach yet given by Meta. Well, I hope that does come. I don't think it will, but I hope it comes. Because, you know, I mean, a lot of you got in touch with me when we spoke to John and said, look, we've had exactly the same thing happen to us. We run a little community page and for whatever reason, it breached community standards, quote unquote, and we were gone. Boom, finished. You know, it's like Beria came along and the Soviet Union just took the face off the photo. So, yeah, didn't exist, never happened. No explanation required. It's pretty Orwellian sort of stuff. When you think, you know, because when you think social media was all meant to be this whole democratic force, right? The media barons couldn't control the conversation. The editors couldn't stymie your point of view. Everyone was to be either a citizen journalist or able to communicate with one another, and yeah, okay, noble intentions. But then these filters started coming through, and I'm not saying it should be a free-for-all. If people are putting up very problematic material, I think it's very important that the Facebooks of this world and Instagram will take that down in the same way that a newspaper or a radio station or traditional media, television or whatever would be forced to do the same. And there's got to be rules, but when your website is about the history of flags, national flags and maritime flags, then it's pretty difficult to justify blacklisting that, I would have thought. But anyway, we've had an outcome. So well done, John. Well done, Tim James. And well done, Meta. Hello, Jeff.